Yeah.
Hey, do you guys have better air quality too?
Uh, Not that I know of. Oh God, do I? I don't know.
It's the Canadian fires all over again.
Oh, we're at
I
air
don't know what to
quality.
do
We're
because
at
it's
29 right now. So no, we're
oh,
pretty good.
we're at 87 on our way to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they do. They tease you. You know how today was going to be maybe half, only like rain, maybe at like 3 or 4 o'clock. So it's like it'd be a great day to go outside, except fuck you. You can't breathe in the air.
Right. Yeah.
I'll still do it.
Oops. That's fine.
We'll
Yeah.
still
I
have to
mean,
do it.
80s. Come on. What? Those Canadian fires brought like 400 AQI. So 80, that's like child's play these days.
Yeah, I'll take a little early lung cancer, I guess, to go
Yeah.
outside for a day. It'll
Right.
be okay. It's supposed to go over 100. I still don't know what it means, but it's fun. It's fun to be here, right now, in this place, and to sleep at night with all your windows open, so you wake up with just a little bit of just a little,
Emphysema.
just a little something, just a little morning. Nice, how you doing? Just a little cough up.
Did I
Nothing
have some
crazy.
Did I have some cigarettes while I was sleeping?
Yeah.
Did I sleep smoke again?
It does. I do feel like that a little bit, but it could just be not being outside for a while at all. That could be it.
Could be that
Just
in being an indoor kid.
Yeah, that's part of it. We've got a lot to cover, including the luckiest day in a boy's life.
Yep. Kick it. Do, 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 do.
I've confused my priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen. Age of convenience. My daddy worked hard for this.
Daddy worked hard for this. Oh, this is our go home show for Father's Day, by the way. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there that, and the ones who stepped in it. Those guys too. All of them. What would your. I was scrolling through Cameo last night for some reason. I don't know why.
You
I
tend
was
to
thinking
show
maybe-
up there a lot, don't you? You're
Yeah,
kind
I
of
was-
obsessed with Cameo.
Maybe looking for more pod inspiration. Maybe I was like, maybe I can find something to just get done in 24 hours. But nothing really spoke to me. And now this morning on Instagram, it's like Father's Day, get your dad a Cameo, and I was like, oh yeah, I could like. Would my dad even like that? So who do you think your dad would want a Cameo from if he could have one?
Oh.
And would he even
Kenny
get it?
were to
Would he
get
be
a
like,
Cameo.
but how do you have a video of him saying Kenny?
I know. He would think it's like AI, so he wouldn't appreciate it because he wouldn't be able to process it. One that jumps out to me would be Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris or Tim Allen, I think. Like, it
got
boils
him now.
down to those. Like, my dad's always been my dad is very much in support of everything prior to our generation's interests. Like, his generation did it better in all facets. So, like, any action movie you watch, Chuck Norris could take that guy. You watch Home Improvement. I think Tim Allen's like funniest guy out there. Like, everything is just very extreme with him. So, but it all boils down to entertainment. So I gotta think it would be Chuck Norris, and then close behind
You are
would be
in
Tim
luck.
Allen. For only $450.
$450, you can get it within 7 days. We should take
Come
let's do a little
on.
sample. Let's see.
Yeah, what does Chuck bring to the table?
Birthdays, anniversaries. What do you want? Other wild card.
Let's go. Let's see
do
what he does
other.
for a birthday wish. Okay, let's see what
Okay.
other is.
Birthday. We'll go birthday first.
Hey, John, Amy, Audrey, and
Oh,
I want to wish you a happy 49th birthday and a happy Father's Day.
oh,
Did you
two in
know
one.
that they wanted to put my face on Mount Rushmore, but the granite wasn't tough enough for my beard? Remember, the eyes
no.
of a ranger are upon you.
Ooh,
I hope
I
to
do
meet
like
you one
that.
day. Your friend, Chuck Norris.
Dude, getting the eyes of the ranger are upon you. is
That's
nice.
good.
That's good.
I
You-
like.
they-
Hold on. Before we play the next one, I really appreciate how much old man Chuck Norris like did a couple nuances. One, clearly reading a script, like not even trying to make it seem like he's not. But also, I love that. It's what. All right, you're famous. This person obviously knows who you are, else your family wouldn't spend $450 on a cameo from you. But the traditional way in a video would be like, hey, Mike, this is Chuck Norris. But he signed
Yeah.
it verbally. He's like, your friend, Chuck Norris. Like, he signed it like a letter, and that's great. Like,
It was
that
written
is a
out,
very, that is a very out of touch concept of like how communication is supposed to work. But I will say this, Chuck Norris is like in his 80s. And for a guy in his 80s, he looks and sounds very good. Like, his voice hasn't really changed much. I mean, he's still got a good amount of oomph behind that voice. He could easily go out there and still defend Texas against bad guys.
I can't tell. He does seem like he's really trying to talk. It's like there is some effort. It is working, but there seems to be laboring there. But I'm into
Okay.
it. Like, you might have new teeth
Okay.
or something. Let's see what
Maybe.
other is.
Hi, Marcus. Chris and I want to congratulate you on retiring from the Air Force after over 20 years. Thank you for your service. Congratulations on the new move and enjoy this new phase of your life. Just know you are Chuck Norris approved. And remember that the eyes
Thumbs
of a
up.
ranger are upon you. Your friend, Chuck Norris. Hi, Joshua.
Okay, so I guess that is it. I mean, that seems like it's well worth the $450 if you got that kind of fuck you money to give to Chuck for Dad. But it's like, I think he's like reading what you tell him, and then he always ends with the eyes of the ranger are upon you.
That- yeah,
your
that's
friend Chuck
clearly-
Norris. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's good
That's
stuff.
clearly his sign off. I'm sure someone like he's got a. I'm guessing he still has an agent. I don't know if Chuck Norris still works. But like, yeah, I'm sure someone helps him with it, with the whole process. But you know, with services like that, I always wonder what Cameo takes and what the celebrity takes. Like, I'd be very interested to know what those are. And are celebrities mostly doing that as a form of income, or do you think there's more altruistic, not altruistic, but rather philanthropic
That-
tendencies to, like, because I think, is it
They
Jack
could both
Black?
work.
Jack Black does cameos, but like donates 100% of it to like different charities and stuff. Like, he does it just as a side gig to make money for other people, which obviously is a great attitude to have, but not surprising for like a type of comedian like Jack Black. But I wonder if he's just like Chuck Norris is like, just still want that cash. I'm in my 80s and I'm not doing a lot of movies, but I still want to make that money.
I feel like most people are doing it for the money. I rarely see one that's like charity. You know, sometimes if it's a big celebrity and they got like the $500 thing or whatever, $1,000, because they're not going to use their own money. They're going to supplement it with your money to donate to charity. It's easy.
Right,
They're already famous.
That's
It's like
that's
when you,
every that store is asking you to round up to
Yes.
the nearest dollar.
yeah, exactly. It's like they were going to donate it anyway. You're just helping them pay for it. Like, they're already good for it. I feel like my dad would be into like some kind of Star Trek character
I would think so.
or a Hank Hill
Or Ray Bork.
Ray Borg. There is a
Oh
a
man,
Hank Hill.
yeah, your
Let's
dad,
see.
your dad would love a Bill Dauterive, King of the Hill one.
Let's see. There's some Hank Hill impressionists. This could get
Oh no,
weird.
that do cameos?
Yes.
Oh, that's so weird.
For $6. How about a pep talk?
Hello, boat forces. It's Hank Hill, and I
No.
saw.
I'm out. That's bad. That was real bad. It was like anybody's Hank Hill.
Exactly. Like I could do that
What
level
the hell
of
is
Hank
going
Hill.
on here?
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, Bobby. You're not my father. You know,
I'll
just-
tell you what.
I'll tell
Like, no, you can't just say the lines. Like, you also forgot you don't sound like him. Oh,
First
that's so
try.
dumb.
First try,
Like,
nailed it.
There's no way that person gets money, right? Like, no one goes like, that's fucking gold. $6,
I already
well
X'd
worth
out of
it.
it.
Like, and $6, like $6 isn't a ton. Like, that's a coffee drink at Starbucks. I still not spending $6 on that bad impression.
I'd rather burn my tongue.
I'll pocket. I'd rather burn the fucking $6 so that sends a message to that guy to stop trying to rip people off.
I don't want to make it a super multimedia extravaganza at the start, but did you watch Money in the Bank yesterday? The WWE
I did.
PLE
I got home-
that we all have to call it now.
I got home a little late, but what's nice is that now that it is all on streaming, I can get home like an hour late after it started, go back to the beginning, and then fast forward through some promo stuff, and I did catch up to getting live during the men's match. Yes.
Yeah, I forgot that it was on too, and then I remembered. So good story for me.
Good. Yeah, that's
is
nice.
a. I think that somebody at the WWE is listening to our show. You might not have caught this, but at one point in this program, in the men's ladder match for the Money in the Bank, it gets to an awkward exchange where the commentators are talking about one of the wrestlers' nipples and how one of the guys was researching his nipples, so he knows that it's really not one guy because he's wearing a mask now. It's this guy, Chad Gable, who wears a mask now, and is a pretend, what is it, El Americano? That's his new.
Man, you are telling this story for someone who doesn't listen to WWE. They are so confused as to what we're
anyways,
talking about.
It's mostly about nipples, and they start talking about nipples for a second. That's all you need to know for some reason. And then the guy trying to explain why he's talking about nipples says a little ditty like this.
I'm sorry, Andrade just ate a chair with his Andrade.
I can tell you, I have never, ever done research by studying a man's nipples.
Well, maybe you need to change your game. This is how we move forward in the world of commentary. Get it to a whole...
Maybe you need to change the game. This is how
Wade
we move
Barrett
forward
is a game changer.
in commentary. He changing the game by talking about.
I didn't
researching
even
men's
process
nipples.
that when it happened. But yes, I do. I vividly remember that discussion because I'm like, Wade Barrett is not letting this go, and I love it.
He won't. That was like a minute after he had already talked about it.
Yeah.
He went back.
Oh, yeah.
Kept digging back into it. Yeah, it's like, that was quite the enjoyable, piece of wrestling entertainment.
See, we're changing the game so much that people are talking about changing their own games. Mm-hmm. But that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Games need changing.
So, should I talk about my luckiest day ever? That
Wow, I
may
mean,
go down.
Well, hold on, because
Okay.
technically you could. I'm like, would it be Wednesday, Thursday, no?
Are you gonna
Wednesday,
go Fall
Thursday,
Guys
Friday?
too? Are you
So
bringing Fall Guys into this?
That's what I'm saying, man. Like that's called a hot streak. That's called a hot streak.
Yo.
Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah, I bet on one. Bet on one.
So, folks, I'll set up the first 2 days. So the first day, now Matt, myself, and Matt's friend Jordan, we often like to get online, play a little Fall Guys, which, for lack of a better term, is a weird group game where you have like little challenges and you play as these cartoony characters. So it looks extremely childish, and it probably is extremely childish, but it's really fun. So
Or
we
anger
won.
inducing.
Both. It's one of those. So
Yeah.
we went on a streak where we won like 3 games in a row, and we agreed that we weren't going to stop playing until we lost. Well, the fourth, our attempt to go 4 in a row, we got disconnected from the server. We realized that was the calling. We'll call it a night. We stopped playing. We got back on the next day, Thursday, and kept winning. Like, feeling great, like doing well. Everything's going phenomenally. So we had another great top 3 nights ever for us of Fall Guys. So we go into Friday, and before we're done Thursday night, we start talking about the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to pass it to you in a moment. So to give you context, Switch 2 came out on Thursday, technically was released, but a lot of places got stock in for Friday morning. So Jordan said, hey, my app's telling me Best Buy's got some Switch 2s in near me. I'm going to go to Best Buy in the morning. Wine Matt. Now, if you're like, what does Wine Matt mean? Do you mean like crying? No, I don't. Matt and a bottle of wine were hanging out Thursday night while we were playing Fall Guys. And Wine Matt was like, oh, man, like, you got to get me one. So Jordan's saying, like, he might be able to pick up 2. Matt and I are really jealous that Jordan found something near him. So I'll go into the plan. The idea was that Jordan was going to wake up in the morning and go get a Switch 2. Matt and I were going to be jealous. Well, Friday morning, I wake up and I find that Target, about 10 miles away, has something in stock. I go, people are lined up outside. Target had about 5 of them. I didn't get mine. I drove back. I may or may not have been late to work a couple minutes. So be it. You got to make those types of personal sacrifices. So I tell Matt and Jordan in a text, you know, here's the line that I lined up behind. I didn't get it. You know, such is life. You know, release day of a console, not a big surprise that I didn't get it. Take it away, Matthew.
Well, it's funny because it's also the release day of some Pokemon cards or something too. So like,
also
every
terrible.
place you would go to
back-to-back releases.
Yeah, and not only were those Fall Guys nights pretty epic. I mean, we were winning a lot of games. So many, like one night we won like 8 games, another like 9, and even on that. Like one of these other days, we won 5 in a row. We all got that 5 in a row achievement for the first time in our life. The immaculate whatever falling, something like that. And it was so immaculate that in my notes I put Fall Guys run this week. I did not want to let it go unnoticed. I needed to talk about it.
Infallible
yes,
is the
infallible. Yeah, infallible. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I mean, wine Matt, and this is my first bottle of wine I've had in a while. Not my first booze, but my first wine. I haven't gotten a bottle of wine in a while. I had Friday off, do a little gaming, and your mind's like, yeah, get me one of those. And the reality is, there's no reason Jordan should get 2 Switch 2s, put the cost up for
and
that,
mail one back to Matt,
and then mail one to me. Like that seems like such a shit show of a thing to happen. So in the morning, I mean, I wasn't really like. I was resigned because you and I both did the pre-order. Like, we both thought that when you do the official Nintendo pre-order, that's how you got your Switch 2. Because they were going to put in the people who had like online memberships for X amount of years and then played X amount of hours of games. And I was like, well, we got to be in that. Easy. Nothing. No emails. No piece of it. I didn't realize that every store did their own pre-order as well. That was bad communication on Nintendo's part. I'll give them that. That's a backhanded way to say that, I guess. So Friday morning, I wasn't really I was a couple months. I'll get one. That's fine. And I really wasn't. I wasn't like super. But then I saw that picture of you in line at Target, and it got me fired up. I was like, whoa. Wait, is it? Can you just go somewhere and get one? That doesn't make sense. So I looked up online for the, obviously all the Targets and Walmarts, all the mine said out of stock. So I was like, I'm not even going to, because the closest Target's like 30 minutes away. So I'm not going to go wait in line when it says out of stock online. So I was like, well, my local GameStop, for whatever it's worth, was going to open at 11. I was like, yeah, I'll just swing by. Actually, first I did drive into the Walmart, which I hate. I hate Walmart. I walked in, their shelves are empty. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Who knows? It was a rainy Friday. Maybe people didn't know it was out. Maybe people thought that they were all sold out, and then that's where you pounce in because people think it's out, and then you go in. That was my thought. So no Walmart. Go to GameStop. The guys in front of me are all getting Pokemon, so I'm like, oh boy, this could be it. I was like, asked them, no, we don't have it. We'll probably be out of stock for a few weeks. I was like, cool. Yeah, I was like, I just wanted it. I guess that's what I came in for, like, because I didn't even ask him, like, do you have a Switch 2 for me? For a guy like me just coming in on a Friday? I was just like, what do you, like, I don't know. I'd like a Switch 2. I'm just kind of curious, like, what should I do, basically? What do I got to do to get my hands on one of those things? Do I, is it like, do you got to come in every day to see it? Like, should I just wait a month? Like, is it going to be one of those deals? And it's like, yeah, it's going to be a few weeks, but all the stores, GameStops, did midnight releases and sold some, but the one at Destiny USA, which is a fun way to say the big mall in Syracuse, that GameStop had 50 yesterday. And
I can't believe
it looks
that
like they didn't
50.
sell out. So I was like, whoa. 50 Switch 2s? It's like, man, there's no way those could have been sold out. So he's like, well, yeah, you can go head over there. I said, give him a call. I was like, yeah, give him a call. That'll work. I'm sure they're not taking a million calls about that this morning. So yeah, meanwhile it's pouring rain. So I'm like, and I'm still mildly hungover from wine. So I was like, do I want to make this 40-minute drive in the rain, low visibility rain? I just want to like set this up as like a walking uphill both ways kind of situation. And through construction, do I really want to do that? And I just called, and he was like, well, yeah, we've got the standard one. And I was like, but that's still a Switch 2, right? That just means it doesn't have Mario Kart, right?
Like,
and he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. Like, well,
so the
I got to
answer was
drive
yes.
like 40 minutes. Do you think if I drive 40 minutes, when I get there, that you'll have one? And he said, I don't know. Been selling a lot of them this morning.
Now,
Like, that's not
in his defense, Matt, that's a weird question to put someone on. Now, mind you, you're talking to the GameStop guy. Like, he's not a data analyst, but you're like, if I were to leave now, what are the percentage of chance? Like, if I were him, I'd have been like, guy, we have 9 left. I've sold, I have this
That's
many
what,
left.
give me a number.
I've sold this many this morning. If you want to fucking crack like numbers and crunch numbers and calculate your chances, that's on you. But I'm not going to tell you whether or not I think you're going to get one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you had 50 left and you sold 45 so far this morning,
right?
That would have been good information to be like,
correct.
Oh, definitely.
But you have to ask it, man.
Then.
People.
Yeah.
Listen, general people in the public aren't going to get that. That's how the information should be presented.
Yeah. And it's like, it doesn't have to be a secret. Like, we don't have to pretend that this is like some kind of espionage thing. Just give me the numbers. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you were like, oh yeah, we only sold 10, there's 40. I'm sure, yeah. Unless somehow there's like a school bus of rich children who don't even take the school bus show up, so it's not even a real thing. You should be okay, but nothing. So I was like, well.
I'm so tired of rich kids on school buses. I'm so tired of them showing up and taking all the good stuff.
And I just pulled out of the parking lot at the GameStop, and I don't know, my instincts just took over. I was like,
I want that one so bad.
I just got hungry for it.
I'm already on Route 5. I might as well just keep going to Syracuse.
I was like,
I'm on the right side of the city.
I just went on the road, and I was like, I can turn around at any time. I'll just start going that way. If for some reason, I'm like, I don't know, like, it's a long drive. I mean, it's not the longest drive, but
it's out of the way. It is.
Yeah,
it's a 40-minute drive is a 40-minute drive.
For a coin flip of a chance.
Correct.
I was like, this would be a great story. It'd be a good day in my life if I didn't expect it, to get something real nice for myself that I worked real hard for, I guess, is how I'm framing it in my mind. So, yeah, anyways, show up to the mall. As I'm driving, I'm pulling up the Destiny USA map, because I don't go in there. So I'm like, I don't know where to go here. I don't like go to the mall. I just park at a spot that I remember parking at when I was a kid or in high school. I go in that way. It all looks different. I'm very confused. I take the escalator upstairs because I think that's where GameStop is. I do a whole lap. I can't find it. Then I look on the mall map and find out that the GameStop was right next to me when I walked in the door. So I went the wrong way. Yeah, I did it was like just
Not
totally
the
whiffed.
mall. You want to go the wrong way away from something because you could be walking for an extra 20 minutes.
I did. So it basically cost me like 15 minutes. And I was like, that could have been everything.
That
Could have been everything. I was like, God damn it. I was like, if I made it all the way here and then lost out by one, because if I took the wrong turn, that would be a real.
I love it.
I guess I'm selling it as I did get one, but so the guy in front of me is getting. Yeah, I just blew it. I got a Switch too, you guys. I mean, I wouldn't be.
Hey!
Yeah. Well, here's the. I got Mario. Guess what? You can buy Mario Kart separately.
Separate?
You don't have to
How?
get the pack.
How? I don't even understand. How is that possible?
But the guy in front of me, and there's not a lot of people in there. You can tell. I was like, oh, there's a lot of like little kids here. I was like, wait, isn't there school today? This is weird. Why are they here? I was like, they don't have money. Kids don't have money. Their parents got to be here to buy this for them. I was like, there's one old guy in front of me, older than me, probably. But he's like buying all the accessories, and like the GameStop guy's telling him, well, yeah, this is like to cover your controller. This will like, he's buying all like the extra shit that's like off brand, third party. Like, dude, they're getting you like pretty good right now. Like getting the little camera, getting everything for everything, like a case, like, whatever. And he spends like $950. I was like, holy shit. But anyways, then I go up. I was like, just here for the Switch 2, please. So, oh, we only have the standard. And I was like, that just means it doesn't have Mario Kart. He's like, yep. I was like, that's okay. Yeah, I was like, that's okay with me. I'm not going to collect the box that has Mario Kart on the label. I'll be okay. But yeah, he brings it out. Get the Pro Controller, get the Mario Kart. We're looking at about $650 probably in that range total for everything. Mm-hmm. But money well spent. And of course, he's trying to get me to do the, are you a GameStop member? Well, if you did, next time you come in, you get $20 off, and it only costs $25. And I was like, cool, I won't ever be in GameStop again until a new console comes out. I don't go to GameStop to buy games. Who does that? That's insane. Why would I ever do that? That's wild. I just buy them digitally.
Funny thing with GameStop, I was a pro member at GameStop for a while, and I'll tell you why. Is because I'm guessing this is still the thing. That was like the sign up thing, but you get $5, a $5 coupon every month. And while what I used to do is I would go into GameStop once a month and I'd buy a $10 PlayStation Store gift card and put my $5 towards the $10 gift card and pay $5 for it. So I'm like, all right, if I do this, I'm basically going to spend $60 at GameStop in the year for $120 worth of PlayStation Store money. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, that works for me. That stuff won't expire. I can use it on whatever I want digitally. Yeah. GameStop clearly caught on to that at the end of 2023. I was
going to say, I'm surprised they did that.
They prevented people. They took that off you could no longer do that because they weren't making money on it. They literally made, I think they made, like the guy said, he goes, yeah, GameStop makes like 9 cents on that, as opposed to if you actually like spend it on something physical in the store. So they stopped doing that, and I go, oh, okay, I'm going to cancel my membership now because I don't come to GameStop really for anything outside of that. So, yeah, they caught on, but it took them years. It took them years to catch on that you could do that thing. But
I mean, I don't even know how it's still, I mean, it's just a meme company now, because after, like, the stock thing and all that, like, it kept it alive. The console thing's going to help it out for a while. When I was in there, one guy went in there to actually, like, return a game and get a new one under his protection plan, and I was like, wow, people do that? That's insane. Like, I would only do that, like, those are the guys that also use their, like, physical discs as, like, coasters. Like they forget that
Right.
they just leave it out on their table and it's like gets ketchup
Yeah.
on it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And they will exchange for that.
If you remotely care for your products, you don't need that. Actually, like,
Yeah.
and it's sad because it's like, would you like to add this protection for $2? And I confidently go, no. I'm like, nope, I don't want to. I'm like, I
never
won't
do.
use it. I'm like, I guarantee I get bored of the game before I could use that. Like, that's just how I am. Like, I'll buy physical copies of games every once in a great while, but I'll be honest with you, even when I do it, I'm like, why am I doing this and not just buying the digital copy? But no, whatever.
But yeah, so here it is in all of its beauty. It is a bigger beast, and that's great. Hey, it's very nice. It's very it's smooth. It's heavier, but I gotta say, this is what's important about it, and why it is better than the Switch One. Outside of the computing aside, the graphics, it's got a bigger screen for old guys like us, and that's really important. Like I gotta say, like being able to play like in bed or next time I take a flight or something like that, it matters to have that extra screen, just for the eyeballs. And Mario Kart's pretty swell. But yeah, I was like, wow, what a good day off on a Friday. It was raining the whole time, but something good still came out of it. Boy, howdy. Let's watch the Stanley Cup Finals Game 2. Play a little Fall Guys. And let's toss in a bet that I had been thinking about all day. I was like, because this is a bet that paid off for me in the previous series. But it was like in the third period. The game was close or tied, and I was like, well, I'll just pick Marchand to score the overtime game winner. Bet like $10, won like $250, $300. I don't remember what it was. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
I think it was like
I was like, what if
170, 180, something like that.
Was that? Maybe it was that. Yeah, it's probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, that's probably more accurate. Yeah. I was like, what if I do that in the first period? Say, 'cause I was looking forward at the beginning because I had the profit boost, and that's the best. That's the bet I wanted to make from the beginning before the game started was Marchand to score the overtime game winner, and it wasn't there. And then we started playing games. Like, oh yeah, I got to check that bet because in the first period, that's a live bet that starts to happen. And I think the Panthers were down like 1-0, I think, or something. Maybe I don't know, but it was like
It might have been 1-0 or 1-1.
yeah, somewhere around there. And it was a game to go to overtime and overtime goal scorer Brad Marchand plus 600, and I used my 25% profit boost to make it plus
6,000.
6,000. Yeah, to make it plus 7,500. So it's a max bet of $10. So for $10, I could win $760. And what's the best part about this is I'm telling you guys live in person. Well, not in person, but just that I'm doing it, that I'm placing the bet.
Yeah, we were
So, like,
talking about it.
Everybody's in on it.
I'm like, did you place a bet yet? You're like, no, I'm gonna do it right now before we get going. Like it was happening live while we were talking. So
Yep.
I felt like I was betting.
Yeah, it was, and then back and forth game, and unreal. And I'm cheering for the Oilers at the end because they're down by 1 and they need to send this baby to overtime.
Tie it up, boys.
Yeah, and they did. 17 seconds left. Pull the goalie. The Oilers score. I was like, what? Let's go. Let's go. So you're telling me there's a chance. Then in the first overtime, Marchand gets a breakaway. Great save by the goalie. Gets a rebound, hits the post. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I was like, that was the chance. That's the one. You don't get another one.
Yeah.
You don't get another chance like that.
You don't get
That's
two
it.
chances like that.
So I even I took my glasses off. I actually fell asleep between the first and second overtime and woke up with 13 minutes left in the second overtime. I was like, oh, okay. Here we go. 30 seconds later, gets a breakaway, scores a goal.
That's incredible.
$760 richer. Let's go. All in one day. Acquire a Switch. Then pay for it and more with a crazy Marchand bet in the evening. And Fall Guys wins and all that. It was a good few days. I've peaked. This week's gonna be bad, isn't it? I feel like it's gonna have a bad week.
I mean, so many people, certainly in our like grandparents' generation, would say June 6th is a tough day to remember. But unfortunately for Matt Jones, June 6th is now going to be one of his most glorious achievement days ever. So Matt's going to always remember June 6th as such a positive day,
D-Day.
because he did not storm Normandy, but he did get a Switch and won a really great bet.
Yes. I stormed the beaches of GameStop. and
Primo Victoria, baby.
Parachuted into FanDuel. It was, yeah, it's a huge, big win for not a nation, but just for me personally. I feel bad.
No, Matt's gonna tell like stories of like when he's older and he can be like, do you guys understand the importance of June 6th? This is when things took a massive turn. All right, this is a defining moment in history. Like, things really started coming together and really felt like we were taking off. Oh, you mean as a country? No, what the hell are you talking about? I'm talking about that day I got a really sweet bet on the Marshawn overtime goal in game 2.
Yeah.
And I got a
Switch 12.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That was game 2, and you got a Switch 2 on game 2. Whoa. What?
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Dude.
Holy shit.
I cannot talk about it without crying.
On 6-6, you got a 2 and a 2. What? Hold on.
And
And
it was Marshawn's second goal of the game, scored in double overtime.
And it was his second overtime goal win. What?
Holy shit.
What is going on?
What's happening, dude?
What is going
happening?
on?
I'm scared.
so scared.
I don't know what is happening, you guys.
I'm so scared. I am
It definitely
so
wasn't me
scared.
farting.
Oh my God. Wow.
Did you ever see the
I don't
video of
know
that
what a
little
reverse
girl who
jinx
definitely
is,
farts
but-
and says she's scared? Do you know that one? Sorry, totally.
Nope, I don't. I don't know that one.
I wish it was easy to find.
Okay.
But let's continue to talk about conspiracy theories about twos.
Sure. Yeah, how do you look up
Here.
conspiracy theories on the number 2?
All right, I found it. I found the video. I YouTube searched, "I'm scared, you guys, fart girl." Okay. Wait, how do I... Okay, so it's this little girl looking for something in her closet. Mm-hmm. Here, we'll share it. She's recording herself, which, you know, it's part of her generation.
Hello. There's nothing to wear. Did you guys hear that? I'm scared. I don't know what was that, guys, and I didn't do that. I'm scared.
What the fuck? And I didn't do that.
I didn't do that, you guys.
That's definitely the best way to sell that you didn't do it, is to go, did anyone hear that? I didn't do that. Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a ghost.
I'm joking.
Yeah, D-Day. Wow, the twos run wild. Here's a generational thing. Speaking of sitting a kid on your lap and telling them stories about Switch 2 and D-Day. Mm-hmm. I did an orientation this week for new cashiers that are between 15 and 17 years old, and I was going over the social media policy, which is pretty standard. Something like, you know, we don't spy on anybody, but if you do weird stuff or if you harass somebody, like we find out about it, yada, 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 don't represent the company, you know, wearing something and doing something weird. And then I was actually reading it, and I was like, it says MySpace on here. What?
Yes!
It says you guys. I said, you guys, I'm scared. I didn't do it, but MySpace is on here. And you got, like, she says chat rooms? And one of the kids is like, it says chat rooms. And I was like,
did you go like, what the hell's a chat room?
I've never actually read this. I said, there's no mention of Snapchat or TikTok or anything like that. It says, I think it said, has like Friendster on it too, or something like that, like one of those things. I was like, oh my God, this has got to be updated. And then some girl earnestly goes, what's MySpace? And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
MySpace, I probably last used my MySpace in 2006 or 7. Was probably the last time I used MySpace. So, yeah, if you're teaching people that are 15 to 17 years old, guess what? They weren't fucking born yet.
Well, how would you answer that question?
What is MySpace?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To a teenager.
They generally know what Facebook is, so I'd be like, it is a more specific Facebook where you can only post on someone else's page, and most commonly the appeal of MySpace was that you could do kind of like beginner level coding and design the page itself as opposed to like Facebook, which is structured. So change the format of the fonts, the links, the color. You could put audio to it. You could put an audio player and load your favorite songs to it. And most importantly, it would say how many people you're friends with, but you would pick the 8 people you wanted actual hyperlinks to their profile pages. You could pick your top 8. And kids, that was a major, major concept of MySpace. Like, you promoted and demoted people to and from your top 8. And that was the most subtle way you could tell someone, I'm a big fan of you, or I'll tell you what, you done fucked up and you can go fuck yourself. Yeah. It was the greatest tool to create hostility. You didn't? Okay. Well, that's one way to say it. That is one way to say it. Probably coming from the HR guy, probably shouldn't be worded like that.
Well, I mean, it took me by, I was like, well, I kind of captured some of those hallmarks that you mentioned. I was like, yes, it was more like your own website in a way. And you could, have like a blog on there. You could have like videos or audio. And I said, and you could have, I forgot it was 8. I said, but the most important part is you put your top 5 friends on there, and that could change at any time. And you basically ranked your friends and put them on there. And then everybody had a friend named Tom because he made it, and he made you be friends with him, which now is kind of weird. And I don't know why there's not a documentary about MySpace, because it should be about Tom. Like, why isn't there one about Tom? Like, making himself friends with everybody. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I told them that, and then they didn't get it. It was like they did. Yeah, I was like, okay, old man. But it was the whole thing, because even like I was talking about the history of the company, and I was like, yeah, back in like the mid 20th century, that we started introducing this, and then I was like, oh, and then this happened back in the 1900s. So I was like, I might as well just say it like that, because these children's were born, in the late 2000s. To 2008 to 2010. I was like, the 1900s might as well be a whole other, it is a whole other millennium. So it was a fun moment to feel the oldness. But poor MySpace. Still, I kind of want to email somebody at corporate to be like, we should update this policy, but I think it's kind of good the way it is.
I say leave it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I say leave that thing. It provokes interesting conversation with new employees.
Yeah. Like someday somebody will have an investigation about something with TikTok or whatever. It's like, well, yeah, it's not even mentioned in the social media policy. Then they'll go, oh, fuck. That's right. Be like, no, I commented on the Pornhub video, but there's no mention of that as a social network at all. No. I would just have full-on dialogue in the Pornhub discussions. Like, which is a great YouTube or internet vortex to go. People have like real conversations in Pornhub threads. You don't have to look at the video. You can just screen look at screen grabs of people having very robust conversations within like,
oh my god,
like just as a meme. It is funny, and then they'll put in like links to full length movies and stuff. Like Pornhub became like a spot to watch pirated movies too. It's like I don't know if they still allow that either, but they put that in the message like, "Hey, go watch the new Fast and Furious here before it gets taken down." Just doing the Lord's work, Pornhub.
dude. So like, Tom, the founder of MySpace, he founded it in 2003, and
Okay.
I think I don't know what he made from it because it's a murky history. It was like sold many times over in the last 20 years, basically from like '05 to 2013.
Who originally bought it? Was it like Friendster or one of those, or
no?
Facebook?
He made it in response. It was sold to News Corp in 2005.
Oh.
That was the original purchase. Yeah, I don't know how much he got out of it.
Maybe there is a MySpace documentary, and I just never heard of it. There's got to be at least like a YouTube video of it. Oh, 5 months ago, MySpace documentary in the works.
Well, perfect.
Okay.
I was under this understanding he made a ton of money off of it, but he was never the owner of it because he was the president of the company that technically owned it. And then that company got bought out by News Corp. And then there's something about Google partnering with them on a more or less an acquisition. But yeah, I remember in MySpace when they went through like a big overhaul in like 2012 and a lot of stuff got deleted out of like their servers, and that's what like killed it, is because people resented it because like a lot of like nostalgic information and even like data I feel like on the musical artists side of things and such got deleted because they like during the switchover, and I think
that was a big band thing.
What killed it. It was massive to find. In the late 2000s, it was a really great hub to find new music. Arguably the best digital way to find out new bands and stuff. Yeah, it was very useful. I remember
fans could interact with the band, like they could drop tracks, and they could just have the music on there because you could only stream it, right? You couldn't download it from there, so it was kind of like a safe space to house the music.
Yeah, I mean now probably could someone illegally download it from a stream? I'm guessing so. Like we have
you could just record
apps that do it and everything, right? That just like pull it. But yeah, at the time you really couldn't. Not the casual person, at least.
Should we go to myspace.com right now?
I don't see why not.
What's there?
Churches. I'm guessing that means churches.
It's churches. I love churches. Lauren Mayberry, she's going solo right now. Wait, so is it just a music thing now? That would make sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, but like...
It's kind of disappointing. I almost wish it wasn't a real thing.
My problem
I kind of wanted
like,
to just be like...
My problem... Error, like 404.
Yeah.
I don't... Like, right, because, like, why is this MySpace? What about this is MySpace? Like, the problem is the title made sense when it was a social media platform. Because you made your website as your space. Now, this just looks like what I would see when I pulled up my Zune media player in 2007. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at, but it's not anything that's riveting. It almost looks like a fucking ad, like a pop-up. Like, it's so cluttered with just fucking photos of random musicians that it looks like a gag.
Yeah. The quality of the photo, I mean, it's all a lot of pop, you know, or there's Jack White, Chappell Roan, you know, a good mix, Olivia Rodrigo, Conan O'Brien, Sabrina Carpenter,
Gene
Hackman.
That's awkward.
Okay. But the quality of the photos is all like the pictures you have to select when you're trying to find traffic lights to get through a CAPTCHA. Like, that's the quality of the photos.
Yeah,
yeah. It's really bad.
Yeah, that's
God,
a shame.
Typed in MySpace.com and I want, who's going to that? It's got to be like international, right? Like, I don't know.
Not for me.
I don't know.
Not for me.
Before we go, I don't know if I told you about this. Did I tell you when I went to go pick up a pizza in the last week, an issue with my name? Did I tell you that story?
No, because that sounds like a weird way to present a story, but I'm in. What?
Okay. This is definitely a Jeff story because I can already feel your rage.
Oh, no. I'm like, oh, no, he knows I'm going to get mad at whatever he tells me.
So I ordered a pizza to pick up. Mm-hmm. I think I had to write down the order of what happened. Not the pizza order, but just what happened in the store. So I always order for pickup because I rarely pay for delivery or anything.
Question?
Yes.
I need this set up. Hold on. Question.
Oh, yeah.
Was this an online or phone order?
Online.
Okay. And
online.
Is this a local shop or a chain?
It's a local shop. It's Mark's. Sorry, you're gonna get blasted. Oh. Look out, comments. Uh-oh. You did it.
Okay, it's laid out.
You done did it.
So Mark's, for those that don't know, although I'm pretty sure everyone does know, Mark's does have multiple locations in central New York and even, I think, as far out west as Buffalo, but it's generally an upstate New York facility.
Yeah. So they have a pretty good ordering website, and they do. I always do it because if you do there's 10WS, throw in that coupon code, 10% off always, no matter what you get. So I'm like, might as well always use that.
Gotta.
Then do it for pickup. Never leave a tip, and maybe that's where I failed. Sorry, I don't leave a tip if I'm just picking up food, and it's insulting for you to ask me to give one.
Agreed.
I'm happy to tip. I'm going to mention if I'm going through the Chipotle line or a similar thing where somebody's building something for you, I don't mind leaving a couple bucks or something like that. Like if they're interacting with you, providing some kind of service. But if the service is literally just picking up the pizza box and moving it to the counter, that's not really service. And also, tips should be afterwards, not beforehand.
Absolutely.
Like,
it's based on service. I shouldn't have to tip you to get good service. So what, now I have to feel threatened that if I don't get what I fucking ordered, then I'm the dick for not tipping you in advance? Fuck yourselves, but please go ahead.
Angry. Got him. All right, let's go. All right. So I go into Mark's, and I said, because I already know what they ask, because they always ask, like, name. They said, oh, is it an online order? So I went in there, and I said, I have an online order. It's under the name Matt. And then they asked for my phone number, and I was like, what? I said, and I gave him the full number, including the 512 area code. So it was 10 digits. And then he goes, that's not 315? And I said, no, it's not. It's a different phone number with a different area code. So I think as soon as I said 5, and I said area code 5, so he's already like struggling with this. And then he goes, I can't find it. And he's looking through the computer. Then he looks up my phone number again. And he goes, I have a Matthew Jones. Is that it? I said, and I was just like, yes, thank you. That is me. Sorry I confused you with Matt and my real phone number. So it was just a combo of I don't know. It was so.
This is why you aren't getting. This is why you aren't getting fucking tipped. You can't even do names, let alone make a goddamn pizza.
And it took like 3 minutes, which isn't everything. And that's why the world came back and gave me a delicious treat this week. But I was like, God, I was.
Come on.
I was like in that. I was such concentrated anger in that one moment when he was like, well, I have a Matthew that's online. I was like, okay. That's the one. Okay, then.
I imagine his screen was just a big fucking one line that just said Matthew Jones online, and he's going, I don't see. My thought was, well, I bet you have a rack or something of all the online orders that'll have names on it. But I guess that wasn't the problem because I'm like, why don't you just turn around and check the rack if the system doesn't have it and see?
No, I bet I can see
has,
it from here. I
right.
can see it.
I bet
There
that's
it is.
mine. I bet that's mine. This is where my brain's going, is to look at the food itself. But dude, I think I would have had to say something, or at least make a fucking snide remark. I'd have been like, "Oh yeah, no, I usually go by Matt," but I could see the confusion. I could understand the total fucking curveball. Dude, this isn't even Bill and William. You literally just cut off Hugh at the end of your name. Like, there's not even guesswork. This isn't like Margaret and Peggy. This is fucking Matthew to Matt, and this guy had his fucking mind blown. He's like, wait. How? Yeah. I'm gonna need some ID. 3 forms. Do you have a real ID? Because as of May 7th, we can't pick up pizza orders without a real ID. So I'm gonna need the enhanced license because this isn't right.
Dude.
Fucking moron.
You know what? And I'd be fine like that if it would get me out
service.
faster.
Don't work in customer
Sorry, your
service.
computers can't handle 512 numbers.
You honestly should have been like, can I talk to a manager? And then brought the manager over to the side and been like, do you need someone to just like mop the floors? This guy shouldn't be on the register. It's above him. Listen, I'm sure he's a great guy, but register work, his troubleshooting is non-existent. This man has zero troubleshooting ability.
It reminds me of like that interview question that comes up is like, kind of talk about a time when you had a problem that you resolved and how you did it. Well, it's like I couldn't find the order. And the guy gave me his name and his phone number, but for some reason the phone number didn't type it in right, or the computer didn't work, and the name wasn't there. What'd you do to solve it? I didn't.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. I think he's still there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where am I?
I left for the day. He might still be there.
Like, how? I'll be honest with you. So I obviously have some situations that I run into with work, and I always go like, how did you get this far? But like, how does that guy get through life? How? How do you get through life? If that is beyond your processing, how do you get through life without everything going exactly as you planned? You can't drive a car because what if there's traffic and other cars on the road? I didn't anticipate this. Like, how do you exist in this world if you can't troubleshoot that problem? How do you use the bathroom? You don't know when you're like, do you have to just have planned toilet times? And if you end up having to go before your planned toilet time, do you just go like, I don't know what to do here? Like, I go poop at 5 and it's 3:30 and I feel like I have to poop, but I have to wait an hour and a half to poop because pooping is at 5. Like, how do you do this? How do you get through life?
To wrap up for Father's Day, my dad told me, actually, he had a customer service interaction at Home Depot a couple weeks ago, and he's kind of, he's separated from Home Depot right now, and he's becoming a Lowe's guy, at least for the moment. He's letting him think about it, because he tosses him some business, especially in his Simply Repairs business. But he went there and he was looking for, like, there's these kind of special carts. I don't know if you've seen them, like, to get lumber. Like, they're kind of bigger or, bigger size carts.
I know what you're talking about.
And so my dad couldn't find one. So he goes up to the guy at the service desk and goes, hey, I can't find any of the larger carts. Do you know where I can get one? And the guy goes, oh, we probably don't have any.
What does that mean?
Then it's like, what? What do you mean? Like, well, I'm sure if I walk around, and he's got like an earpiece, like, so he didn't do anything. He just was like, we might not have any, like one of those. And it's like, what does that mean? Like, you got to have them somewhere. Like, they got to be somewhere in the store. He's like, I guess his way of saying it was like, they're either in the parking lot or then somebody else is using them, but didn't do anything. So my dad actually, like, he went out into the parking lot, found one, brought it back in, went up to the guy and was like, hey, I found one. Not that this kid gives a shit. And of course, I think he didn't. And so then when he was checking out, Dad was like, of course, there's like 6 people standing around the self-checkout that all work there.
Oh my God,
I gotta-
Home Depot has more people standing at self-checkout that makes it so not self-checkout. Like I have like
It's assisted self-checkout.
I have older ladies being like, "Sir, sir." I'm like, "Yeah, it's the only one open and the guy just left." I'm going there and they're like, "Okay, are you going to scan all your goods?" I'm like, "Why don't you just be a cashier? This isn't self-checkout because I have to like answer your questions and interact with you." But anyway, please.
And so as he's going through, he's like, "Hey, is there like?" He says the first time he's ever done it, he's like, "Is there like a manager here? Is somebody leading the shift today?" And then of course one of the guys was like, "Yeah, I am." He's like, "I just want to talk to you about something." He's like, "Okay, so I'm gonna bring this out, and I'm just gonna bring it back in." So he goes out and he comes back, and he can see the ladies be like, "Oh, he is coming back in." He's like one of those.
Oh God, it's happening.
He's like, "I don't usually do this, but I just talked to that kid over there, and he just basically didn't do any. It's like didn't do anything. Like, you guys got walkie-talkies and earpieces, right?" It's like, why didn't he just call somebody else in the store to see? He was just like, we probably don't have any. Of course, the manager was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll check into it." And he's like, he won't. He probably won't do that because he's probably not a real leader or manager of people.
Nope.
Because that happens a lot in customer service business. And but yeah, then he just walked out, and now he's a Lowe's guy, at least in the near term. So, but it's so fun. Just I don't know. It's like, that's you do something. You're not here for free. You get paid to be here. Like, don't you want to do something?
You're
Like,
literally at a
it's
desk called customer service, and you opted to not even feign service.
Or my dad was like, which is something I've done in the past too. He's like, I would have been happier if he would have pretended to say like, "Hey, do we have any carts? Yada yada." Nope. Okay, I'll let him. It'd be like, good. At least he did something. He did literally nothing.
And that's what a lot of people don't get is right. It's like, there's something you can do from the get-go. Even if you know you're unlikely to be able to solve the problem, make something up. Be like, "Hey, to Home and Garden, yeah. Hey, just looking to see if you guys happen to have any like lumber carts or anything that you see around." No? Okay. Or they're going to check. Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't have any around. So I'm sorry. They're probably they're often scattered out throughout the lumber section, or you may, find one rogue in the parking lot. "I'm sorry, sir. I'd go out and check myself, but I have to man the desk." Your dad would have been absolutely fine with that response. So it's like nothing actually happened, but you at least made it seem like you are troubleshooting something.
It's the great philosophy of life that I have to remind myself of sometimes. And I used to like tell students this, in one of my jobs as an advisor was like, do something. Don't do nothing.
Right.
It's just like kind of just,
right.
Just, yeah, basically that's something, if you mess up, whatever, at least you tried, you did something. But if you don't do anything, that just sucks.
It's this weird thing that the
guess who's getting a Lowe's gift card for Father's Day?
Oh yeah, not the Depot, not the Depot. Yeah. I get it.
Or a Cameo. We'll regroup next week.
Right. Or $450 worth of Chuck Norris.
Dude, man. I'd trade my whole Switch 2 in for one Chuck Norris Cameo.
Good, because that's what it costs.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris should make all of his reels, all of his responses should be timed to 45 seconds so that people can appreciate the fact that every time a second goes by, it costs $10. And it's easily, the math is easy. So he should do 45-second videos so that it's like every second you see tick cost that loved one another $10.
I want to do the remember the Walker Texas Ranger episode with Haley Joe Osment that they referenced on Conan O'Brien all the time.
I was gonna say we get to see the reel on Conan.
Oh, no, excuse my French, but I'll be damned. Walker said I have AIDS. It's that, and it's like, what the fuck? So I wonder if you can get him to say, "The eyes of the ranger are upon you, and you have AIDS." Just do. Would he do that?
Probably not. I was gonna say
Probably
is
not.
what you have to do is find the script of a certain Walker episode and just make him read like 30 seconds of like an excerpt. Find the weirdest thing he ever said in Walker Texas Ranger and make him just relive that.
Let's do a GoFundMe, you guys, for one Walker Texas Ranger cameo. If you guys just want to start sending us money, we'll set it up.
We'll make you an
GoFundMe
executive
for one.
producer of it, and we'll have him say your name in the script. We'll just have him list off everyone who donated to have him
You'll
do
get
a video
referenced.
of mentioning all the names of people who donated to pay for said video.
All right, so Game 3 is tomorrow in the Stanley Cup Finals. I have to keep the bet going. So in the first period, I will bet Brad Marchand to score an overtime game winner again. It doesn't match the twos, though. But if we hit again, then we will buy a Chuck Norris cameo.
Okay.
Fair?
What you should do is let
Does
the
everybody agree?
750 ride on that bet.
Yeah, double it.
And if it goes, if it's at plus 6,000 again, and you don't even have the bonus,
Oh, yeah.
you turn it into $45,000, Matt. All right, so $45,000 bet.
We could get 100 Chuck Norris cameos.
We blow it all on Chuck Norris cameos.
Yeah.
Okay,
For 45
seconds,
seconds, can you just say, "The eyes of the ranger are upon you. The eyes of the ranger are upon you," and just have him do it 100 times?
Oh,
Just keep
yes.
saying it over and over. Like make him spin into total dementia.
Just keep
No,
saying,
we
thank
wouldn't
you,
do that.
Peter. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter.
Dementia has Chuck Norris. That's what he's going to be saying in like
That's
15
funny.
years.
That's a Chuck Norris joke. Chuck Norris is so old and dominant that
Okay.
dementia has Chuck Norris. I love it.
Yeah. That's what he'll say on his deathbed, unfortunately.
All right.
So, okay, everybody. Think about that. And I'm talking to you, Brad Marchand. You got a big game tomorrow. Let's do this for Chuck.
Pony up.
Let's do it for everybody.
More than me. Than the song in its entirety. 'Cause my attention span doesn't work properly. It's an
This game is so fast.